Hola, mi amigos and mi amigas. If there's one thing that puts a smile on Uncle Cletus's face, other than moonshine, it's that sweet, alluring candy. That means powerfully and mysteriously fascinating. That's for Cousin Jed, just in case he's listening. He can be a little slow, if you know what I mean. So with fall upon us, that brings up Halloween, one of my favorite holidays. The tricks and the treats, everybody dressing up as this and that, the candies, the pies, oh yeah, and then there's those fruits and vegetables and popcorn balls and black licorices and everything that just doesn't help to hit that sweet tooth. So this week, Uncle Cletus ate tons of candy and narrowed it down to my top 5 worst ever candies to receive on Halloween night. Trick or treat, let's go.
These days, the president of the company is Ellen Gordon.
Tootsie popping its way in at number 5, the legendary Tootsie Roll. Ironically, tasting nothing like chocolate, this little delicacy has probably caused more stomach aches than smiles. With over 60 million Tootsie products created daily, that equals a lot of tummy aches, folks. Personally, it's the texture and the flavor that causes Uncle Cletus to go ahead and throw this one in at the number 5 spot. Not even the legendary Tootsie Pop could have saved the Tootsie Roll from making my list this Halloween. Invented by Austrian immigrant Leo Hirschfeld, Tootsie Roll has stood the test of time, sitting on shelves for kids for over 120 years. It's been said that Leo wanted a rich, creamy, chocolatey piece of candy that wouldn't melt in the heat. Well, unfortunately, I don't know how creamy and rich in chocolate flavor the Tootsie Roll is, and when it's cold out, damn things are like chewing brick if you're picking up what Uncle Cletus is throwing down. And making its way onto the scene at number 4, Smarties candy rolls. It's not like Uncle Cletus dislikes this sweet tart candy. There's just better options on Halloween night. It's almost like this is a lazy man's candy, like they went to the store at the last minute. Smarties came to the U.S. around 1949 by immigrant Edward D. from England. And surprisingly enough, it's owned by the same family today. The Smarties come in 6 assorted colors and flavors. Some of these flavors to colors can kind of confuse you. Like the white Smartie is orange cream, yellow, obviously pineapple, pink for cherry, but the green one is strawberry, folks. Man, makes you scratch your head. And the purple one, well, that's obviously grape. And orange, well, it's orange. So if Smarties are your thing, Uncle Cletus apologizes. I guess we just got spoiled back in the day when I was growing up with full-size candy bars and good stuff. So if you're handing out Smarties this year, OUC's gonna have to take a hard pass. If you know what I mean. Waxing and taxing its way to the number 3 spot. The good old-fashioned mini drink wax candy. Ah, the Swiss knife of candy. You can bite them, drink them, and chew them. They've been coming in every shape and size for nearly a century, folks. The fruit-flavored mini drinks have been party and holiday staples for years and years. Unless you're buying from an old-fashioned candy confection store, it seems like the only brand left standing nowadays is the Nick and Nip. And what that is a combination of the original cost of nickel and the preferred wax bottle opening technique, the nip. Its rich history couldn't keep it off my list this year, though. That wax tastes like cardboard, and the inside liquid is all sugar-fied water. I'm gonna have to be chewing something that's semi-waxy. Give me some of that sweet, sweet saltwater taffy. Coming in at number 2, with much ado, it's that sweet confection known as candy corn. With such a storied history littered in controversy over copyright dates and invention dates, let me tell you, it's a whole lot of hoopla over some liquid fondant and marshmallow. You see, folks, the Trade Association claims candy corn was invented in the 1880s by a Wonderly Candy Company employee named George Winiger. Now, if you ask the Jelly Belly Candy Company, formerly known as the Golix Candy Company, they'll claim that they were the first ones to do candy corn in 1898. While nowadays candy corn is traditionally a Halloween through Thanksgiving type of candy, it didn't used to be so back in the day. In these times, candy corn was actually referred to as chicken feed, because that made a lot more sense if you think about it, because that's what they fed the chickens back in the day. This here chicken feed had nothing to do in association with Halloween or the fall holidays of Thanksgiving. Unlike today, chicken feed was only available usually between the months of March and November. As with all traditions, and as time passes on, it evolved into candy corn and is now associated with Halloween and Thanksgiving. Touted as a mellow cream candy, the full ingredients were never shared with the public. Now, this could have stemmed from pressure from the 1950s when the Golix Candy Company was pressured to change the name because they touted theirs as buttercream candies, and there wasn't an ounce of butter in them. So if you like to use candy corn as a decoration or in some recipes for the holidays, hey, Uncle Cletus is all about it. But I'm gonna tell you what, if I find one damn kernel of that candy in a bag, it'll be back to feeding the chickens. Conquering its way into the number 1 spot, like Alexander the Great, black licorice. That's right, folks. It's been said that even Alexander the Great had a taste for black licorice, as did the pharaohs of Egypt, and a lot of the great conquerors and kings of those days. Now, it was more often drank than ate back then because it was only found in liquid form. But even the medicinal benefits were recognized back in them days. Origins will place licorice in southern Asia and then spreading its way through the Middle East and into southern Europe. It was first reported in England as grown in a monastery in Pontefract. They could have forgot about that recipe as far as I'm concerned in growing that licorice. Now, black licorice can be made one or two ways. Smaller candy confectionaries use what they call the cornstarch molding process. The hot liquid of licorice being poured into the individual mold, cooled, and then the sweets pop out. Now, the manufacturers that are mass producing it go about it a whole different way. They boil this stuff until a point where it's hardening like dough almost, and then force it through machines and formers and create that whole rope shape. Now, Europe is home to the top 2 countries who consume the most licorice yearly, that being the Netherlands and the UK. Personally, if they want to put that stuff in my mouth, they're going to have to call me the You Pay. While it's black licorice that's taking the #1 spot, it doesn't mean all licorices are half bad. Those red vines, and they give them root beer flavor and soda pop flavor and orange cream and green apple, and man, the list goes on and on nowadays. So with that said, folks, I hope you enjoyed Uncle Cletus's top 5 What the Facts on candies I don't like to see in my bag at Halloween time. Go ahead and leave some comments below. Let me know what your top 5 candies are that you don't like to see in the bag, or even like to eat and sneak on occasion, if you know what I mean. Until next week, folks, stay classy, flashy, and sassy.